Hello again, everyone. We're going to do a Server 2022 install. Doop doop doo. Oop. We'll do a little reset. Yes. Okay. Normally, I would tell people if they have a product key to put it in, but it doesn't really matter. Standard is good if you want to use command line, and so is data center. However, call me funny, but I prefer the desktop experience. Actually, we'll go with standard. Not that much of a difference between data center and standard anyways, just a few little extra bells and whistles here and there. Okay, we selected our hard drive. Next. Now we play the waiting game for the install. I'm going to stop this recording, and then when it resumes, it will be all in the desktop. Alright, where this is up, we got to put in a good admin password for this. It's imperative that you choose a decent password. Alright. Bah. Oops. Wrong thing. Right thing. Here we go. Okay, once we're all logged in, it's imperative that we set our time zone. Why is it imperative, you might ask? It will become imperative for data logs, such as crash logs and other system logs. So you have the correct time for your time zone and stuff. Just makes life easier. Alright. And we're going to check for some updates. With any and all Windows products that you install, that you should check for updates. That should be one of the first things that you do. Make sure you get all the latest security patches and stuff. And product fixes and new features that Microsoft's known to sneak in. So we'll download us some updates. That's doing that. We'll change this name to DC1. Another thing I recommend people doing is change the computer name to Domain Controller 1 or Standalone 1 or whatever you want to call it. Just makes it easier to see on the network once on the domain I just prefer changing the name just in general, so it's not gibbity gook. But that's just me. We'll restart you in a little bit once we do our updates. So imagine, yep. Okay, I'm gonna reboot the system and see you in a few seconds. Alright, we restarted our server here after running our updates. Just gonna wait for it to finish loading up and starting all services. Okay, what we're going to do next is, after it's done doing its little thing here with the little blue bar going across, we're starting everything up. We're going to set a static IP address. Come on, little guy. You can do it. Set it anyway. Okay. The reason why you should use a static IP address is for Active Directory. You don't want to use a DHCP address that'll change every time that you reboot your system after doing updates, because that would just throw things out of whack. We're going to give this one .10. 127.0.0.1. Okay, that's done. Now we go up here. Actually, I should probably reboot it. Screw it. It'll get the new IP when I reboot it, when I install Active Directory. I also want to get DNS server tools as well. That's fine. Done enough installing. There's stuff to know what I'm doing. Check this box because it'll need the reboot. And now we will install Active Directory and DNS. Static IP should come into play when we reboot the system after we install DNS and the Active Directory domain services. So don't worry about seeing that little warning message pop up. Though you will have to reboot the system again once you finish installing the Active Directory domain services, because that's the best practice. Alright, we got our domain installed. Now we set it up and make this a domain controller. When deploying a new domain controller, you want to go add new forest. In this case, we'll call it sys.lan. Next. This might take a minute or two. I hate how this thing keeps wanting to minimize itself. Alright. Gonna keep the forest function level at 2016. Though depending on what other servers you have on the network, or if you're going to join this to another domain forest, you can put the function levels down to 2008 or 2012. Though typically you want to go at the highest function level that you can for security reasons. Okay, let's put in our secret code. Next. Now we play the waiting game again. Okay, we go install now. Might take a minute or two. Oh, here we go, maybe. But yeah, my Server 2022, besides a few changes under the hood deep in the system, it's virtually the same as 2019 in the GUI. Alright. Give this a little reboot. Look at that. Doing it for me. Okay. Once this comes back up, we'll go into our Windows 10 client and I will show you how to join it to the domain. Alright, we'll set up our Windows 10 client now. Set our region, keyboard layout. Alright. Now we play the waiting game on this. Actually, I'll pause the recording and we'll, actually, maybe not. Might be soon done its little thing. Actually, I'm gonna. Usually these type of installs, when I do them on here, it takes a lot longer. This is actually zipping along. Must not be a lot of people using the Azure from the school this time. Okay, you can download the latest and greatest features, which I usually recommend people doing. However, we just need a quick and dirty client for this install video. So we'll go skip for now. This was a client machine, I would be installing those updates. I might even do that too through Windows Update once we get into Windows. Personal use. You can connect Windows 10 to your Outlook account or any other Microsoft account, which most people do that to use multiple devices and services. However, most machines that I've set up for most clients, we use offline account for security purposes and limited experience. I'm going with user 1. Put in our secret code for this. Now, security questions are a fairly straightforward thing where it will validate your user identity based on the questions that you put in if you ever need to change your password. However, this is a quick and dirty one for this purposes of this video. No. Decline. Don't use. No. No. Basic. No. Alright, I will resume the video once this is done being set up. Alright, our client is up. Okay, another best practice you should do when setting up any client machine is check for updates. can't stress this enough, is always, always check for updates with any Microsoft product. I don't care if it's Word or if it's something innocuous, such as something you grabbed off the Microsoft Store, such as a fancy new calculator theme. Always run updates. There's usually bug fixes and security patches or even feature updates that they always hide in the updates. Look at that, this is getting a feature update. Alright. Once you're done downloading your updates and installing them, my little friend, I'm going to give you a static IP and connect you to our nice server client. Okay, 82%, print and install. Okay, I will resume the video once the updates have been all installed. Something I just noticed that we forgot to do, we forgot to set our time zone. Always set your time zone too. Used to be able to do this directly as Windows was installing with Windows 7 and Vista. For whatever reason, Microsoft changed that. I don't know why, but this is Bill Gates' world and we just live in it, I guess. There. Let's check our updates, see how they're coming along. Feature updates just motoring right along. Cool. Imagine you'll need a reboot in a minute. Always with Microsoft, every update you do requires a reboot. Alright, we'll set our IP address to its static. We're going into the network settings. Okay, this is going to be 192.168.0.11. 192.168.0.10. 192.168.0.10. Okay. Doop doop doop. Yes. Go properties, advanced system settings, computer name. Change to CL1 member. Sith.lan, and then we go OK. Administrator at Sith.lan. Should prompt us to restart. Error was designed. What? Okay, I'm gonna have to do a little troubleshooting, it looks like. See what's going on there. Alright folks, I figured out the problem was. Apparently when I rebooted the machine, the feature update, for whatever reason, did not finish installing. I gave it another little reboot, and it went through the installing the feature again and connected no problem, as you can tell. So we are up and running and connected to our server as part of the LAN. Alright, since we have that done, I'm going to go into the server here and we're going to create some users. We're going to go Tools, Active Directory Users and Computers. We right click on Users and we go New. And we scroll down this pop-up menu to User. Alright. Jean-Luc Picard. J.L. Picard. And yes, I might have been watching Star Trek earlier. Give our user a password. Next. There. We have one user. We're going to create a second user. Jordy LaForge. G. LaForge. However, we're going to make him change his password. Next login. Finished. Now, on our client, we're going to log out and we're going to log in as one of our new users. We're going to go sign out. Alright, other user. JL Picard at sys.lan. And it's going to load up our user's account. So now we're playing the waiting game for it to finish setting up our user account. I'm also going to show you how to disable a user account in a few minutes. While our user here is logging in, we'll go back in. We'll create another new user. New user. Q. Username Q. Give him a password. K. Now we go into our client machine. We're all logged in and everything looks all pretty and good to go. That's fine. Now, we're going to log off our user. Now we're going to log in Q. That's sys.lan. It's going to go through its thing and get everything all set up nice and pretty and ready to go for this user. This might take a few moments. Interesting. Oop. Okay, it's almost there. Okay, they're all nice and logged in and happy as can be. Now, we all know what type of person Q is. Not somebody we'd want to have access to any accounts. So I simply right-clicked, and I disabled the account. I can choose to re-enable the account. I could add it to a group. I could reset the password. I can do a bunch of other little tasks too. disabling an account isn't instantaneous. If the user's already logged in, they can stay logged in. However, when they sign out and try to log back in, it'll tell them that their account has been disabled. Okay, I'm gonna log in as Jordy LaForge this time. Should prompt me to change my password. And in we go. And in a few minutes, this user will be online and in their account, happy as can be. I don't know why that feature update hiccuped when I installed it. Usually this stuff doesn't happen. However, stuff like this can happen from time to time. Hell, I remember a time when we were using Vista at one of the places I was working at. We were installing one of the service packs. We ended up having to blow the computer away because it got locked into a continuous reboot. I had to do it over from scratch after pulling their files. Okay. But this concludes this video. Hopefully you found it informative and useful. And in another video, I will show you how to set up a DHCP server, as well as clients. Shut down our little server here.